Stop lying to yourself. You're watching this because the script you were handed at birth has finally failed you. You've played the good friend, the reliable team player, and the agreeable man, yet you find yourself standing in a desert of social insignificance. You feel the weight of your isolation, and deep down, you're terrified that something is broken within your mind. But here's the clinical truth the herd is too weak to utter. Your isolation is not a social deficit. It is the primary diagnostic indicator of your awakening to dark psychology. While the masses beg for a seat at tables where they aren't even respected, you have begun to notice the invisible wires. You've realized that most human connections are nothing more than a mutual exchange of delusions, a Machiavelli-inspired theater where everyone is a pawn. But no one knows the game. You are no longer willing to trade your neural sovereignty for the cheap, erratic dopamine of social validation. You have realized that belonging is just a polite word for voluntary servitude. This is the birth of dark intelligence. The system thrives on your predictability. It needs you connected, distracted, and desperate for the group's gold star. But you have performed a cold-blooded audit of your social circle and found it bankrupt. This isn't loneliness. This is a high-level reconfiguration of your power dynamics. You are clearing the static to hear the signal. Welcome to the Aura Protocol. We don't offer the empty hope of reconnecting. We offer the architecture of dominance. You have no friends because you no longer speak the language of the prey. The first indicator of your evolution is what we call dopaminergic filter sovereignty. Most men are biological beggars. They wake up and immediately begin hunting for their first hit of social validation. A text back, a like on a screen, a nod of approval from a mediocre colleague. These are the crumbs of a low-status reward system. But the practitioner of dark intelligence has performed a surgical strike on his own brain. You have realized that every friend you maintain out of obligation is a leak in your cognitive reservoir. While the masses are busy chasing the cheap, erratic spikes of dopamine found in social small talk, you have shifted your neurobiology toward long-term execution. This is the end of the pleasurable distraction. You have built a fortress around your focus. In the world of power dynamics, attention is the only true currency. If you are constantly available, you are inherently low value. By choosing isolation, you are not missing out. You are performing a clinical audit of your time. You have realized that the joy of belonging is often just a mask for the fear of being alone with your own ambition. While they are grabbing a drink to escape their reality, you are in the lab reinforcing your frame control. Your reward system is no longer triggered by their applause. It is triggered by the silent, steady expansion of your own territory. You don't have friends because you no longer find pleasure in the trivial. You have traded the noise of the group for the signal of the sovereign. This is trait number 1, the ability to starve your ego of social validation to feed your empire of results. Most men will never understand this. They are too busy being liked to ever be feared or respected. Most men are exhausted, though they won't admit it. They are tired because they are perpetually maintaining a performance. They are wearing a mask, the Jungian persona, tailored to please the boss, the wife, the neighbors, and the group. They are bleeding energy just to remain likable. But the practitioner of dark intelligence has performed a cold-blooded execution of his own mask. You have stopped wasting your life force on the social theater of the absurd. You have realized that the energy spent being agreeable is energy stolen from your own dominance. This is the second rare trait, the discard of the social persona. When you stop trying to fit in, something dangerous happens. You trigger what we call shadow recruitment. Instead of repressing your darker, more ambitious impulses to stay socially acceptable, you integrate them. You take the aggression, the cold calculation, and the raw hunger for power, the parts of you the herd calls bad, and you put them to work. You are no longer a nice guy in a costume. You are an integrated system of neural sovereignty. While the masses are terrified of their own shadow, you have invited yours to the boardroom. You have realized that the best friend everyone loves is usually the man with the least amount of self-respect. He is the one who says yes when he means no. He is the one who laughs at jokes that aren't funny. He is a ghost of a man. You, however, have chosen to be real. And reality is polarizing. By refusing to wear the mask, you naturally repulse the weak and the fake. Your lack of friends is simply the byproduct of your frame stability. You have stopped being a mirror for others' insecurities and started being a lighthouse for your own purpose. The social cost of authenticity is high, but the cost of a fake life is total. You have made your choice. Most men live in a state of chronic mental fog. Their internal frequency is jammed by the constant static of other people's opinions, trivial dramas, and useless information. They call it staying connected. I call it neural interference. This brings us to the third rare trait of dark intelligence, the mastery of low-noise, high-signal. Strategic brilliance requires a specific internal environment, a silence so profound that patterns begin to emerge from the chaos. While the masses are drowning in the noise of group chats and social obligations, you have realized that every unnecessary human connection is a tax on your cognitive processing power. You are a high-performance machine, and you refuse to let social maintenance overheat your processors. In behavioral neuroscience, we understand that the brain has a finite capacity for deep analysis. When you surround yourself with the mediocre, your brain is forced to synchronize with their low-level frequencies. You begin to think like them. You begin to worry about what they worry about. You become a mirror of their limitations. By standing alone, you have cleared the frequency. You have achieved operational clarity. You are no longer reacting to the noise of the herd. You are observing the signal of the market, the movement of power, and the hidden intentions of those around you. You see the move they will make 3 steps before they even think of it. Why? Because your mind isn't cluttered with the trash of small talk or the emotional weight of friendship drama. You are the quiet observer at the edge of the room. You aren't antisocial. You are pro-signal. You have realized that in a world of screaming voices, the man who listens to the silence is the only one who truly hears the truth. While they are busy talking, you are busy decoding the architecture of reality. Most men are victims of a biological contract they never signed. It is called social reciprocity. It is the invisible leash that forces you to return a favor you didn't ask for, to laugh at a joke that wasn't funny, and to attend a funeral for a man you didn't even like. It is the social debt trap. But the practitioner of dark intelligence has performed a cold-blooded audit of his obligations. You have realized that the niceness the herd demands is simply a mechanism of control. This is the fourth rare trait, the detachment from social reciprocity. In the world of power dynamics, guilt is a weapon used by the weak to restrain the strong. They want you to feel bad for not being part of the group. They want you to feel wrong for prioritizing your own operational dominance over their trivial rituals. But you have deleted the software of guilt. You understand that your time and your energy are not communal property. You do not feel the need to pay back social debts that were forced upon you. When someone offers you a gift of their time or attention, you see it for what it truly is, an attempt to anchor your behavior to their expectations. You refuse the anchor. While the masses are busy drowning in a sea of "I owe him a call" or "I should show up to this," you are breathing the thin, cold air of the summit. You are free. You have no friends because you refuse to be a slave to the polite expectations of the mediocre. You are not mean. You are sovereign. You have realized that in a world of Machiavellian transactions, the man who doesn't feel the need to reciprocate is the only man who cannot be manipulated. You have broken the leash. You are no longer a good man by their definition. You are a powerful man by your own. Most men are blind because they are standing too close to the mirror. They are so deeply embedded in their social groups that they cannot see the structure of the group itself. They are players on a stage who have forgotten they are in a play. They react, they emote, they suffer. But the practitioner of dark intelligence has performed a radical act of cognitive relocation. You have stepped off the stage and into the director's chair. This is the fifth rare trait, third-person social architecture observation. While the masses are busy feeling the social tension in a room, you are busy mapping it. You see the invisible lines of authority. You see who is seeking approval from whom. You see the unspoken hierarchies, the hidden resentments, and the subtle power dynamics that govern every human interaction. You aren't part of the conversation. You are the one analyzing the conversation's frequency. In behavioral neuroscience, this is known as high-level metacognition. You have detached your emotional center from the social outcome. By having no friends, you have gained the ultimate strategic advantage, objectivity. You are no longer a piece on the board. You are the grandmaster looking down at the 64 squares. Because you have no skin in the game of their petty social politics, you can see the truth they are too desperate to acknowledge. You see the weakness in their leaders and the cracks in their alliances. You see the move they will make before they even feel the impulse. While they are blinded by the need to belong, you are enlightened by the will to see. You have realized that the best way to control a system is to remain outside of it. You aren't lonely, you are strategically positioned. You have traded the warmth of the group for the clarity of the summit. The world is a marketplace of belonging, and most men are buying. They are so terrified of the social cold that they will set their own values on fire just to stay warm by the group's hearth. This is the ultimate vulnerability. If a man needs to belong, he can be bought, he can be controlled, he can be broken. But the practitioner of dark intelligence has developed a biological immunity to the social virus. This is the sixth rare trait, resistance to belonging manipulation. The system, the corporate machine, the social circle, the political tribe, uses the threat of ostracization as its primary weapon of compliance. They whisper, "Do this, or you won't be one of us. Think this, or you'll be alone." Most men crumble at the mere suggestion of being the outsider. Their neural sovereignty vanishes the moment they feel the sting of the group's disapproval. But you have looked into the void of isolation and found it comfortable. You have realized that belonging is the most expensive luxury a man can own because it costs him his truth. By accepting the reality of having no friends, you have stripped the world of its leverage over you. You cannot be shamed into silence. You cannot be pressured into a consensus that you know is a lie. You are a Machiavellian anomaly, a man who cannot be coerced because he doesn't fear the silence. While the masses are busy modulating their voices to match the choir, you are speaking in your own frequency. You have realized that the lone wolf isn't a cliché, it is a clinical state of power dynamics. You are not difficult, you are unbuyable. You have traded the safety of the herd for the invulnerability of the sovereign. They can exclude you, but they can no longer touch you. Most men are biological addicts, and their drug of choice is the other. They are trapped in a feedback loop where their internal state is entirely dependent on external variables. If the group smiles, they feel a surge of serotonin. If the group frowns, they fall into a neurochemical deficit. They are slaves to a social thermostat they do not control. This brings us to the final, most lethal trait, neurobiological self-sufficiency. The practitioner of dark intelligence has rewired the fundamental circuitry of his reward system. You have performed a clinical bypass on the social nodes of your brain. While the masses require the mirror of the group to feel significant, you have anchored your dopamine and serotonin to a different metric, absolute progress. In behavioral neuroscience, this is the transition from external validation to internal mastery. You have realized that a friend's compliment is a low-resolution reward compared to the high-definition satisfaction of a plan perfectly executed. Your brain no longer seeks the cheap, noisy approval of the mediocre. It seeks the cold, quiet triumph of the objective achieved. By having no friends, you have eliminated the primary source of emotional volatility in your life. You are no longer subject to the social weather of others' moods, failures, or petty dramas. Your internal state is a fortress. Your peace of mind is a product of your own frame control, not a gift from a social circle. While they are busy seeking happiness in the company of others, you are finding sovereignty in the mastery of yourself. You have realized that the most powerful man in any room is the one who needs nothing from anyone else. You are not isolated. You are self-sustaining. You have traded the hunger for connection for the fullness of power. We have dissected the anatomy of the outlier. We have labeled the rare traits of dark intelligence and exposed the hollow nature of the social contract. But now, we must move beyond the list. We must move into the sovereign synthesis. You are no longer a man with no friends. You are a man who has achieved operational autonomy. Most men spend their entire lives in a state of emotional negotiation. They are constantly bartering pieces of their truth for a moment of belonging. They are negotiable souls. But the practitioner of the Aura Protocol is a fixed point in a moving world. You have realized that power isn't something you get from a group. It is something you protect from a group. This is the final internalization. The mountain does not argue with the wind. The wind, the opinions, the trends, the social pressures, the collective anxieties of the herd, blows constantly. It screams. It demands your attention. It tries to erode your frame stability, but the mountain doesn't even notice the wind. It simply is. While the masses are busy finding themselves in the eyes of others, you have found yourself in the cold, hard reality of your own results. You have realized that your isolation is actually a high-frequency filter. It keeps out the weak, the parasitic, and the distracting. It ensures that when you do decide to engage with the world, you do so from a position of absolute strength, not desperate need. You have reached a level of power dynamics where your presence is a choice, not a habit. You are the one who decides who enters your orbit, and you do so with the clinical precision of a surgeon. You aren't lonely at the top. You are focused. The air is thin here. Most men can't breathe it. But you were born for the altitude. This is where the audit ends and the rebellion begins. Most men will finish this video and immediately reach for their phones. They will check for a notification, a text, or a digital nod from the very herd that is draining their potential. They will return to the comfortable cage of social approval because the silence of the summit is too cold for their unconditioned lungs. They are addicted to their own mediocrity. But you are not most men. You understand that dark intelligence is not a set of tips. It is a blood covenant with your own potential. It is the decision to stop being a social asset and start being a sovereign force. You have seen the architecture of the trap, and you have chosen to walk out of the gate. From this moment on, your isolation is your armor. Your silence is your weapon. Your lack of friends is the proof of your operational dominance. You no longer seek to be understood by the masses. You seek to be effective in spite of them. The Aura Protocol is not for the many. It is for the few who are brave enough to be no one to the world, so they can be everything to their own destiny. If you have felt the shift in your own frequency, if you have realized that your loneliness was actually your neural sovereignty trying to breathe, then you are ready. We do not ask for likes. We do not ask for subscriptions from the curious. We demand a pact from the conscious. If you are ready to stop performing and start dominating, prove it to yourself. Prove that you have the frame stability to stand alone. Leave the signal in the comments below. Type the words, "I refuse servitude." The world is loud, but the future belongs to the silent. Welcome to the top. Stay there.